What's going on, traders? Yeah, I just want to get on here and share the trading day with you. So far, kind of boring start to the day. We got let's get everything kind of situated here. But it's a Memorial Day, so it's a holiday. Don't know how well the trading's gonna go. It's kind of up in the air. I'm not really expecting too much. We got two contracts on a long. It's still pre-market. We got 5 minutes till the bell rings. Been trading a little bit. Let's just do the scorecard here. So far today, not much going on. Just $20. That was a break-even trade for the most part. But then other than that, I've been kind of just sitting in a 2-contract trade here, waiting for the bell to ring. Yeah, like I said, the NQ has been on an uptrend for the most part. It really fucked me over the other day. I'll show you where. On this day right here, it looks pretty obvious that it's a massive down streak here. Didn't look so obvious at the time though. Let's see here. This move here, the record high pre-market to where it ended up resting at its low. It was almost 1,600 point drop. And I kept thinking, oh, certainly we're at the bottom now and it's getting ready to go back up, like right in here. No, it's going to just keep going to those record highs. And then, and every time, we get into the 1 minute here so we can really see what the hell is going on. Maybe you can see what was going on that day. That was the day I got pretty wrecked here. So, before all this downtrend, hit this new high up here at 18,926. Then tanks. Thinking, oh, well, buy the dip. And it's going to really take off. And then it just, all day long, it just teetered there. And then, about lunchtime, it just went off a cliff. And yeah, it was a shit show. And so recovering from that, readjusting the game plan a little bit so that doesn't happen again in the future. I ended up blowing a couple of PA accounts that day. Real frustrating day. But we're going to have short memories and get on to the new day here. Got about 3 minutes till the bell rings. I have no idea what to expect with it being Memorial Day. Whether it's going to take off or just run sideways. I did manage to get this Darwinex account going here, which was interesting because they just started doing futures. And the nice thing about the Darwinex futures is you can trade Bitcoin futures, which is something I wanted to trade, considering Bitcoin is really fun to trade, and it has really dramatic swings up and down. It's exciting, it's fun, and so when it comes to investing, not day trading, Bitcoin is something I like to just invest in. Mainly because the crowd of people on Twitter, I just like the energy that they operate in. And I've always heard to invest in people more than whatever's. And so that's kind of what led to that. But, it's nice that Darwinex now offers not only NQ futures, but Bitcoin futures through the CME. And so excited to kind of play with that and see how that's going to kind of work out. What do we got going on here? Back to zero. So we got the bell about to ring. We got 30 seconds until that happens, which is nice that we're now kind of solidly back in, I wouldn't say profit, but out of the hole we were in for the past like 40 minutes. Let me get this geared up, ready to rock and roll here at 24 seconds. And I can Need to get rid of that Keurig in the background there. I think I'm just gonna donate that. And 5, 4, 3, 2. All right. Let's see what Memorial Day brings us here. So far, so good. I got the take profit set at 100 ticks. Be a $1,000 trade. You know, if it works out. Risk. Let's see. Let's measure that. It's about 65 ticks, so $650 risk to make $1,000. My goal moving forward is to get really good at just having the risk and everything sorted before really getting into a trade, and learning to walk away better. It's been really frustrating being up and then not walking away and then finishing the day red. And so I'm going to really work at not falling for them same kinds of errors, I guess, over and over again. Now, part of my issue though is I just like the kind of the back and forth of scalping too much, and not just holding. I just need to, and part of like holding is being used to holding like 2 contracts for 100 ticks. You know, seeing like it is now, $500, and then not taking profit. That can be kind of challenging. But kind of the game plan I'm going to kind of operate in is just same contract size for the most part, same risk for the most part, and just being able to trade without like the emotions of like missing out or whatever. And then when I hit a profit target, either switching to a different account and stop trying to you know, get huge things every moment of the day. But just, you know, if I hit 1,000 right now, be done with that account, move on to the next. But then also waiting before jumping back into things. Let's see what that looks like on Darwinex. So Darwinex is a $100,000 account, so 1% is my goal, regardless of the what account it is. So for 100K, the goal is $1,000 profit, which I'm about halfway there. And that Bitcoin, I'm excited to be able to trade Bitcoin actually with Darwinex on the futures. I ended up getting the futures account. It's a little bit more per month, but with the ability to trade Bitcoin, you know, it's just like I've been, you know, the thing with like Bitcoin that is like after the halving, you know, I got so swept up in this halving event, you know, that it's such a nothing burger so far. It's just been sitting here just consolidating at record highs for weeks and weeks and weeks. I thought after the halving it would be like a news event, like the way Forex or just futures, you know, you get these these freaking news events, and then just skyrocket 500 points instantaneously. And so I thought that would be kind of the same situation with like the Bitcoin halving. Is just be like, some big, green candle, but it just hasn't come yet. We're getting close to our take profit. Hands off the wheel. We're just going to just let this thing cook and see what happens. I'm going to work at disciplining myself to not start feeling like a bunch of fear and anxiety like right now. It's like, oh, if you take it now, I'm thinking about taking it now. But a lot of that has to do with just being impatient and not wanting to wait another 15 minutes or so for it to just to pump back up there. I think a big part of like how the price moves is it moves in waves of people taking profit and selling and everything. Well, no shit, Mike. But yeah, we'll keep the hands off the wheel here and hopefully get smash the take profit like now. And we just got it. Let's look. You can see how the how that worked out. And so the thing with Quantower is you gotta close these working orders because they'll fuck you over if you don't. And so now instead of like hopping back in on the trade while this is skyrocketing, we're just gonna wait for a pullback. So in the meantime, I want to see how that's looking on Darwinex here. If you can see, I don't know how to make. I don't know how to make those bigger so everybody can see that really good. Yeah, I don't know if I can make that bigger. But again, the goal is $1,000, which we're almost there. I got these take profits and everything on NQ, hitting those recent highs. But then this other one, you can't see because of my webcam or whatever. But this 1650 and 8250, those are Bitcoin futures. Problem, I just didn't know how much they were going to be per tick, so I did just volume wise, just one. I don't know if that's one contract because I'm using MT5 to trade this, and so I'm not sure. MT5 normally goes off of points, where futures normally goes off of like ticks. And so kind of waiting now for a pullback to get back in to this position. I was, shorting now. There's a temptation to want to short it right now, but like I'm gonna try to get my number of trades down, just because I feel like long term, only focusing on A pluses is more of a discipline thing than anything else. And that's something that definitely won't hurt to work on. While we're just sitting here, get this to be a 5-minute chart. We can start mocking these charts up, so we have some areas of interest and stuff to target while we're waiting for that to drop back down. And what I like to do is I like to start with the previous day's highs and lows, or kind of like the channel here. That was from what, Friday or Thursday. But then start working down to the 4-hour. I mean, we're at the top of the range now for the most part. So to get in on anything, it's definitely going to be more so on pullbacks. And so we got the low down here. We got the new high, and the difference between where we're at now and that high is 400 something points. So it'll be nice to catch this on a pullback if this ever pulls back in the near future. And I'm going to actually trade with a different account now once this thing pulls back. We're almost up to our 1% goal on the Darwinex account. Yeah, one of the things I've noticed about my own trading is, I've been pretty good at being able to make money trading, but my downfall is in over trading and giving it all back. Yeah, because every time that we get out of this golden zone, we're just going to call that a day for the most part on Darwinex. For NASDAQ at least. I'm going to get back in on the crypto. I'm going to go ahead and just short this with just one contract. Mainly because of how it's consolidating up here. I know I'm like, I shouldn't be going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And I'll just do a break even for a stop loss, and then we'll just see kind of what this does as far as just a take profit. This is just going to be a quick scalp. It was actually probably a better opportunity to take a buy, but I'd like the I like the retracement. To come down maybe to here, or the 38.2. Really, the 23.6 and the 38.2 is like ideal for a pullback, mainly because when you take it, then you can have a stop loss. If you do a 50 tick, basically a 1 to 2, risk 50 to make 100. You'd want to get it at least right there. If you can get it lower than that, then you can start tightening up the stop and do a 30. If you did a 30 tick, like 30, they did 33 to make 100. You'd have to catch it down here. I mean, if you caught it there, it'd be so close to be getting stopped out. Let's see what that break even looked like. Pretty much nothing. Little bit of a commission fee or whatever. And so one of the things to do too, since it's Memorial Day, a holiday in the United States at least, is to check out the size of this range, you know, of the candlestick. What are we looking at here? About a 30-point move ish. And that will help that'll help kind of set our range. Let's get those stop losses and take profit all figured out, so we don't have to keep doing that every time. Let's get a tighter time here. It looks like it's going to drop to me. And then if you pull up the bigger time scale here, yeah, my personal goal is just to not be so emotionally attached to the trading. That's going to be my goal for the week, actually, is to not be so triggered. You know, that was the like takeaway from last week. You know, last week was a very emotional week for me in trading. Apex was, I think still is, offering these 250K accounts for under $20. It's like 18, I think, something like that, 18, 17-ish. And then if you pass, then it's only like $80-something. And I ended up passing 2 challenges and blowing them both. Once they became funded, mainly because of the emotions and just keep hoping that, oh, you get this big bull run. Yeah, I kept thinking that just get this record high bull run that would just, you know, that there's like the fear of missing out, of like, you know, catching one of the moves or whatever. But this week's going to be better. I feel like all those failures from last week are going to turn into good experiences that don't get replicated over and over again. The problem is, you know, it's so like this time 9:48, between 9 and 11:30. I mean, there's so much action and everything that it's easy to want to keep that energy going. I noticed that with those bull runs and shit with NASDAQ. It's like it's hard to shake that mentality of like, oh, it's going up. I'm going to miss out on this gigantic parabolic move or something. I'm going to keep an eye on where we're at. And so 18, I gotta look around that freaking camera here. 18. I'm trying to figure out where the fucking stop loss is. I don't know why sometimes the charts will have, hopefully I'll show what I'm talking about. Yeah, so I don't know why sometimes the charts will show the position, but I want to be at about 18,886 for a take profit. And one of the things to keep in mind, like I'm trading Apex accounts still, and the thing with those is there's a trailing drawdown that you got to be mindful about. And what that means is, like, if you watch the P&L and say you had a really big, say I had 10 contracts, this would be at about, instead of 190, it would be at 1,095. And if you don't take profit when you have a big size like that, I failed one eval because I was trying to pass it in a day, and I can't remember if it was 10 contracts I was doing or if it was more than that. But I ended up catching a big pump that went up like $9,000 profit, and for whatever reason, it happened so fast that it was like deer in the headlights. Like, oh shit! And I go to try to close it real quick, and just in the time it took to comprehend what was going on and click the close button, it like the trailing drawdown for a 250K account is it looks like it's starting to have some resistance here. I might close this, but like I'm gonna close that because I want to kind of get ready to have a buy order ready. Yeah, but it went to like that much profit, and in a matter of like closing it out, it went like back, and it went back far enough that it hit the trailing drawdown. You know, it's like, so it's like with a trailing drawdown, it's like $6,500. Well, it went up 9, which moved the trailing stop $9,000 up, which then all of a sudden, when it moved down, even to $3,000 of profit, I already blew the account because of the trailing drawdown, which kind of sucks, but that's just part of trading with a trailing drawdown. And kind of, again, the what we're trying to get now, we'll get this ruler out for a guide. So we're working with probably a 50 tick stop at the most, a 2-to-1. So keeping this, we'll make that a different color so it's maybe easier to see. Do like a white. Do it nice and big so everybody can see what the hell's happening. So 50 ticks looks like that. So at any point now would probably be a good time to start trying to get a buy-in. And since we're being patient and waiting for what we're waiting for here, we're going to do 2 contracts just because of the positioning where we're at, where that throws the stop loss underneath that resistance there. And then 100 ticks now gets us right back to the top of this previous. So we're not really Okay. Get back on the Darwinex here. I'm just getting that Bitcoin position. We're doing basically the same strategy. 50 to make 100. But like this, I'm still working out because MT5, you can see it works on points instead of ticks. Although when you do it like that, 50 equals the correct math. So 50 times 5 is 250. 250 risk. Does that make sense? And then this Bitcoin trade here. Problem with this is if you go to the properties, show ask and bid, there's kind of a big spread. So 50 points with Bitcoin equals $2.50. I'm just trying to figure out the tick value for these. Yeah, so that's roughly risk 125 times. I think I need to be at 10. But I'm going to leave that kind of where it's at since I'm also trading the NAS. I don't want to get too big of a positioning going on in here. Let's get back to Quan Tower. Let's see what we're doing. Looks like that's working out. That was a nice retracement there. Price got that whole move. Now I'm trying to keep it more I don't want to say boring trading. But I'm trying to resist the urge during these live streams to be super entertaining. Just of going back and forth and back and forth. That's something I struggle with. It just in general is going back and forth too much. And so I'm going to resist that by just doing one larger position with a larger stop loss and take profit. And then, time-wise, probably 11:30, just having a hard out just every day. Because typically what happens, for me is like catching like a move and then trying to catch too much in one day, and then the next thing you know, then I'm stuck in a position during lunch, and then I got to sit there, and then it's next thing you know, it's 1:30, position's kind of going squirrely. Now it's kind of setting up all fucked up for the power, and so it's like, it's a journey here. We pull out the ruler here. About a 100 tick move both ways. Not too bad for Memorial Day. I actually kind of like it when the market's not super volatile. And by super volatile, I mean like each one of these candlesticks being like 100 and something, the consolidation. I try to stay out of this consolidation. And so, like, in the strategy, part of the strategy is buying at the bottoms of the range, selling at the top, but then at the same time, being mindful of this consolidation. It's consolidating at about 50 ticks or so. So I want to stay out of that. I want to catch the breakout out of that. I don't want to catch these 50-point moves. Some guys will do that. They'll want to catch the 30 points here, 20 points there. I'm just not interested in that. Mainly because it's so hard to predict. Things can be so erratic sometimes when it comes to trading. Erratic, unpredictable, not logical, emotional. In an auction environment, it's easy to want to win so bad that you're not even paying attention to what the hell's happening anymore. It's like the classic example is like if someone's auctioning a $20 bill, which is kind of what we're doing, auctioning a price. But the classic hysteria is like spending like $100 for a $20 bill, just to win the auction. And then it's like, what did you win? It's like you may have won, but you didn't. You lost, kind of. Jump in the chat, see if anybody's in here. Doesn't look like it, but whenever you're watching, it'll be now. I kind of just try to stay present anymore. I try to stay present and not make the same mistakes over and over again. Yeah, I still think about like the Bitcoin halving. You know, I was so excited when that was going on. It's like, oh, the halving's coming, the halving's coming. It's days away. I ended up getting a decent price on it. You know, it's like I waited to put an order in. I ended up catching it at about 6,400 price wise. It's now hovering around 70. Yeah, I take profit along the way though. I'm not one of those people that will just hold it forever. Like, oh, you know, I bought it for $5 a Bitcoin, and I haven't took profit one time. It's like, that's insane to me that people can do that. I don't think that's a noble trait, to be honest. You know, I think that's a sign of weakness, really, that just holding and holding and holding without ever taking profit. And I think that's a weakness, not a strength. But there are certain situations where holding it like that is like noble. You know, it's like, you know, holding something for like 1,000 ticks or something. Especially if you have a lot of P&L action going on. But just to sit there and just indefinitely hold and never take profit, that doesn't make any sense. Unless it's maybe for tax reasons. You know, if someone's doing that for tax reasons, like not realizing the profits. You know, if you have like plenty of dough or whatever, where it's just like you don't really need to take the profit because of you're already like so abundant or whatever. But what I like to do, I like to, like, you know, you'd have like a small account, say $1,000, and put the whole 1,000 into Bitcoin, and then every time it pumps, I just take profit. I just sell the you know, it's like on Fidelity. It's like, say you have $1,000 position that goes up 10% to like $100 profit. What I'll do is just take the $100 profit, just sell it. You know, sell $100 worth, take the profit, move it to a different account, and then just constantly just be working with the same kind of starter money on Bitcoin. And then when it gets to like an obvious, like it's getting ready to like it didn't make a new higher high after a pump, and then just sell the whole position and wait for it to crash, and then buy it again once it dips. We'll see if this guy turns around. If not, it might be done for the day. Like I said, I'm working out. You know, I've had it happen sometimes. You know, where it's just like catch the opening right at 9:30, and like have a big position in at like 9:29. It just pumps up, you know, that 1%, and just be done. Could be, you know, just be, you know, catch that 1% in the first like 30-40 seconds of it opening. But then it's like, oh, what do I do with the rest of my morning? I got 2 hours now. That do I go for a walk or? I'm gonna drop that down just a hair. Just to get under that 15-minute low on that candlestick. there's a little bit of spread, you know, between these candlesticks, the ask and the bid. And so it could look like you got enough wiggle room, but not really. You know, that's part of like an edge is, you know, most people are going to crowd that stop loss to try to get every scrap of profit. If you give it just a little bit of breathing room, though, there's nothing more infuriating than if it just barely taps your stop and then goes up 100 points. And you just sit there and you just watch it. I mean, that's super fucking frustrating. And you can prevent that by just, you know, okay, well, I don't want to be in the trade if it dips beneath this level. But, you know, sometimes you have these situations where it just a quick down and then bounces up. And for those situations only is that little bit of breathing room. Not so that it just aimlessly wanders, but it's like, okay, here's my stop. If it breaks that support level, I want to be out of the trade for the most part, but I'll give, let's see, make 5 ticks of breathing room just in case. You'd be amazed if you do start doing that, just giving yourself more than you would think. If your knee-jerk reaction is to put it just like right there, or just like drop it beneath a psychological level, like 18,875. I feel like fives, like multiplication of 5s and 10s, is like the psychological level when it comes to NASDAQ, like 18,875, 1910, you know, it's like those whole numbers, you know what I mean? It stops right here at 18,875, you know, so if you can put your stop loss just outside of those like psychological numbers, you know, most people are lazy as shit, you know what I mean? And so, and traders are no different, you know, so it's like, if you can easily put like a stop loss in, like down here, for example, where it's just like quick stop loss, 50, 25, 20. Well, if you do that and then just like make it 21, 27, you know, 30, you know, instead of having it be 30, 33, 32, 34, you know, something that like most people aren't doing. It could just give you that little bit of like space in the order that will take somebody else's before it takes yours. Looks like we got stopped out on the Bitcoin trade, which is fine. You know, if you ever trade Bitcoin, it's really, really important to put stop losses in, because this thing can get very squirrely and can get very hysterical in either direction. And so don't be surprised how fast it can move in any direction. And it's important to remember that when you're positioning, you're putting a position size in. Like I'm not interested in putting another buy in, because I already put a buy in at basically, where was I, over in here, and that dropped. It's important to resist the urge to catch breakouts. It was like, oh, it's going. It's like, well, you know what? We already missed. You know, if we would have got in maybe down here, even to here, that says 500 something points. But I don't believe that's accurate as far as the tick value. I gotta figure that out better. But like, trying to catch a breakout, yeah, you can. But the problem is, where's it gonna break out to? From here to there? Go down here. It's more about the ratios and potential gain to potential loss. It's just almost better just to wait until you have like a series of candles that are right there. Like, that's the buying opportunity. Right here, that's the buying opportunity. Right here, yeah, right, that would look like a buying opportunity to me. Yeah, at the end of this guy. Yeah, but Darwinex, for anybody that doesn't know what that is, or you're getting new to trading, basically what they do, you can trade stocks, futures now, forex, all sorts of stuff, indices, and basically, I was actually recommending them to somebody that's like has some experience day trading and stuff like that, but from just my experience, it's like you don't want to trade with your own money. You kind of do, like, but to protect your money, it doesn't hurt to have your money in prop firms and stuff like Darwinex, where basically you only spend like they have theirs in euros, so I don't know what like 40 euros or whatever, 30 euros, whatever that equals in dollars. But then you trade with a 100K account that they measure all your trading, your profitability, and all these kinds of like factors, and give you like a score, which eventually leads you to getting real money to trade with, and doesn't risk more than just the monthly fee. So it's like you could lose $40,000 in a 100K account, just by maybe becoming unconscious or just over leveraging or just going full throttle the entire time, whatever reasoning that happened. Well, then you can just reset the account and then start over, as opposed to your actual real money, which would just be gone. But I'm more into like trading with other people's money, other things than my own, mainly just because of it takes the pressure off. It's like, yeah, you have rules and shit that you have to abide by if you want to trade with other people's money, but it is what it is. I mean, what do you expect? It's like, here's $100 grand. Just go have fun with it. Go do whatever. Like, that's not realistic either. But it's just like, it's almost like the step above trading just with like a virtual account, in the sense that there is some emotions at play, because there's a potential of getting large amounts of money allocated to you if you're good, and really there's no cap at Darwinex, where it's just like I think they'll let you trade $1 million account size if you can demonstrate profitability long term. I just kind of like just trading futures though anymore. Yes, like I was, trading forex, which Darwinex has forex. I was like shorting the dollar, the pound dollar quite a bit, trading the USD JPY, the Swissy, all these kinds of things, But the problem with Forex that I found, for one, I feel like the news events really make it hard to predict any long-term movement besides just, what's going on today, maybe tomorrow. Makes it hard to have a position and just like hold like a long or hold a short just with these news events, especially with anything related to like the pound or the dollar. I just like the way futures moves better. It's more game like to me. And part of like games is it's like you want it to be kind of fun on some level. I find trading fun, except when I'm just like getting really emotional and pissed. But even when I used to skateboard, I mean, you don't love it 100% of the time. Like at least like with like skateboarding, it's like when you start getting triggered and not following your own game plan. I mean, you just fall and crack your head on the ground, and then do that a handful of times, and then you want to break the skateboard and just take your frustration out on it. But nothing compares to like sticking a trick that you've been falling on for days, and then you finally stick it. It feels really good. It feels really satisfying, and trading feels like that, where it's just like you can lose, you get emotional, but then you hit those, and then you stop being a dumbass and size appropriately and do the things that you should be doing. Oh, I shouldn't emotionally be buying at the top of the range, hoping that it breaks out every single time. Well, Mike, it's NASDAQ. It's a bull market. Don't want to miss out. But, the thing of it is, it's like, what frame of mind is that operating out of? Fear. Oh, I'm going to miss out. Fear. Oh, I need to make all this money as fast as possible. Scarcity. All these kinds of things. Well, this is dawdling around. I think I'm going to have another cup of coffee. Let me jump into the chat one more time. What am I doing? Oh, it's right here, duh. It doesn't look like anybody's in here, but I'm going to make a cup of coffee, and in the meantime, for those that don't know, I've been doing music for well over a decade, producing for licensing reasons. I'm just going to play like an instrumental track while I run to the bathroom and make a cup of coffee. Let me find something that that'll work for just some background. Okay, we'll just do this. Okay. And we're back. Let's see how we're doing here on our trade. Looks like it's still dawdling around down here at the bottom of the range. And make sure all the audio sounds okay. And jumping back and forth between two different things here, but yeah, you can see this red line up here is the ask. You can see a decent spread on that guy. I'm gonna wait till that kind of look and see what's going on with this. Let's pull up Trading View. I'm just gonna see what the dollar index is doing. Yeah, with it being Memorial Day, I don't know what to expect really. Looks like we're above VWAP on Bitcoin. I think I'm gonna go ahead and just get another position in. Oh, shit. Yeah, you can see that spread. $50 by the time you even just get into anything. That's fine. We'll go ahead and set this and so 50 points equals negative 125. Yeah, so I need to be buying 10 to equal what I want for the risk to reward. I like to risk 250 to make 750. But since I got two things going, so this would be negative 250. If I had another 5 going on this guy, that would be negative 250, which would be $500 risk, which is 0.5%, which is this is basically how my math works on risk to reward. I don't normally risk 1%. I kind of do, but the way I do it, it's more like 100 points to 100 points is the full 1%. So let's pull this up so this makes sense. So here's calculator. So on 100K, that would be $1,000 would be a 1% risk. But what I don't do 1-to-1, I do 1-to-2. So I cut that in half and do a $500 risk at 50 points. So 100 points would be a 1-to-1. Risk 100 points to make 100 points. But I don't normally do that, unless the situation kind of calls for it, or maybe I get a terrible buy, but I just have like a really strong intuition that it's going to go up and be worth a 1% risk at 100 points. But on a 250, that would make the risk $2,500 at 100 points. But I'm only going to risk 50 points. So divide that by 2, that equals $1,250. So then I divide that by $5 a tick. What am I doing? Wrong way. 1250 divided by 5. That equals 5 contracts. So 5 times 5 equals... What am I doing? I don't even fucking know what I'm doing anymore. 1250. So 1250. Oh, 1250 divided by a 50 tick stop equals $25 per tick. So 5 contracts. If I wanted to risk $1,250. Yeah, hopefully that math made sense on some, like, kind of didn't for me for a second there, but I think we got it. Yeah, I really would love to capture a Bitcoin pump on a live stream. For those that have never seen it, it's fucking crazy. Like, it's crazy on an NQ pump, when that thing's racing. But Bitcoin, that thing, it can move so fast. It's insane. That's 7. Did it cross 70? That's like a psychological barrier for sure. That 70K. When did it hit that before? The 17th? 10 days ago? Hit 73. Alright, let's get back to what we're doing over here. 10:30, so if it does anything, it would probably be about to do it now. Let's pull up the trades for the day here. We're up, but we'll see how this guy progresses here. One of the nice things about doing these streams is it helps me stay more focused. I actually do better on the streams than I do when I'm by myself. It kind of forces me to be a little bit more disciplined when people are potentially watching. we're starting to move into profit more and more so now. Kind of looks like the wave here is starting to go back. And one of the big takeaways from last week is, I was like trying to pass these 250s in one day, which I think is 15,000 profit in a day. The problem when doing that is then when you do pass it, then it's like such a slow grind. If you're like doing like 5 contracts, for example, and then dropping down to like 1 contract, it's such a slow grind. It's like hard to readjust. And one of the things about trading is like anything can literally happen at any moment. There's like this like I don't want to say complacency, but there's almost like this I don't know, like you just like become like, oh, it's just moving like it's normally moving, and you can just expect it not to have these giant things, and the next thing you know, you just be sitting here and it just goes up in a matter of seconds. It's like, what the fuck was that? Or it goes against you equally as fast. It's just like, just be sitting here and you didn't check the news and there's some like event that just happened and just we never really have that much control over what goes on in the world. Something crazy could happen at any moment. Looks like it's breaking out pretty nicely. We'll take the hands off the wheel here and see if we hit our take profit or not. One of the exercises that's helpful in holding positions is just to, for example, get like a Darwinex account and just put an order in and just walk away from it for a day or two and come back to it and see how much the price has changed. From the moment that you put the position in, it either immediately starts going against you or immediately starts going into profit. There's no other option. It either just goes or it doesn't. But it almost like if you're not used to holding, it's like anytime it moves like 20 points, say you got 20 point movement and you got 2 contracts, that's $200. So this has been 37 points of movement now. The nice thing about 2 contracts is it's multiples of 10, so it's easier to grasp that. So it's like moved 35 ticks since we've got our position in. A third of the way there. 10 contracts is almost too much with the trailing drawdown. You can get a position at 10 contracts, but you have to be really fast at taking profit, because 10 contracts right now I'd be at $3,500, $3,600 profit. But that whole time it was moving sideways at the bottom of the range, it was, that would have been thousands of dollars too in the hole. And with Apex, you only have $6,500 trailing drawdown with a 250K account. So that would have been half of the account at risk at 10 contracts. Debating on whether or not to move stop loss to break even. I think on this guy I'm going to. So we got a little bit of resistance over here. You can see that block right there. Yeah, a little bit of consolidation going on over there. This is not surprising. It hits that level, and now we got a little bit of red candle going. And again, this is one of those things, like working on discipline. Like, part of me wants just to take profit right now, just because it's there and there's a fear that it could disappear. But you almost just have to start disciplining yourself to hold winners longer than you hold losers, because it's almost the opposite way when you first start trading. It's almost easier to hold losers and hope that it'll turn around eventually than to hold a winner without having this fear of loss that just becomes overwhelming. But we're about to bust through that resistance. And most of this is just mental resistance, with traders. It's like you get traders that look to the left here to get kind of a, I don't know, data, data to make a prediction for the future. But even with that data, a lot of times, we're still working with like 60% win rate, 50%. What's the stats I'm at for today? 50-50. But when I trade, sometimes you'll see that I'll have like 100 trades by the end of the day, and it still the math still works out about 50-60. I'm really like on it, sometimes 75. Be really accurate at like 75-80. But those are not catching 1 to 3s. Those are catching 1 to 1s. we're about halfway to our 100-point take profit. I'm going to go ahead and move my stop beneath this guy. I'm going to do that on here too. So at least capture capture a little bit of profit there. I think it's going to keep going up because it broke that line right there. You know, that's the high right there to the left, and we busted above it. You know, part of it, I don't feel that much confidence in the bullish energy of the crowd here, mainly because of the past few days. With it being at this level, it feels like the shorts have been so much stronger. You know, not to say that they always will be stronger, because, you know, NASDAQ is a bull market, but I've heard this before amongst traders where it's just like, oh, I'm going to bring that guy up too. You know, where, oh, shorting record highs is fucking dangerous and stupid. Yet, as I'm witnessing with my own eyes, a lot of the big moves from this new record high have been in the shorts, you know, more than catching a parabolic move up. But I have caught a parabolic move up on NASDAQ, so I understand what they're saying, because once NAS starts going fucking gangbusters, that thing can take off too. You know, Bitcoin will fly, and so will NASDAQ. I'm just going to trail those stops. With it being a holiday, seems like things are kind of poking pretty slow, but we still got higher lows. But we're starting to get a little bit of resistance, it seems like. You know, that is a little bit weak. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see how this thing plays out. I don't want to curse myself with pessimism. I'll move that guy with us. And we should be a straight shot now to the top. There's not really any other spot that should have a lot of stop losses. You know, if you were catching it short, that would have been another spot to catch, and put a stop loss maybe above that block here. But, you know, for the most part, everybody else would probably have their stop, up here. You know, price moves to where there's orders, and stop losses or orders, and so you know, if you had a stop loss on a short, it would be a buy order. And so where would those buy orders be? They're just waiting, you know, probably right up in here. Probably a big amount would be up in here. Maybe a small amount. Make sure that's all visible. But I would think in this area, not probably ideal to have a stop loss, since it's kind of in the middle of all that action. You know, I would think up here is where the shorts that have been holding this whole time, hoping it continues to go down, where they're sitting out. I'm just gradually just creeping up. I don't want to overcrowd this. And kind of keep an eye on the P&L as a real-time price indicator, as a real-time just price action indicator. And the way it's kind of moving, it's just kind of slowly but surely just getting, oh, there you go. That's not so slow. Starting to get some pushing now. Looks like they ran out of stop losses there and orders. That's my assumption, at least. So we broke through that area. The next area would be here. Looks like Bitcoin took off too. And we are $14 away from our 1% profit target on Darwinex. I'm just trailing this pretty close behind this guy. Take the hands off the wheel for the take profit up here. And that'll probably be my last trade for the day. The nice thing about having the take profit set is that if you get one of these quick little moves up, you know, sometimes you can catch a big win. And then it instantly goes back down. But yeah, it looks like Bitcoin just broke the 70. And it looks like NAS is getting closer and closer. Hands off the wheel time. Let's see if what it does. I'm getting there. 40. Just move that stop loss really tight. Let's see if we get one last little push through there. 965. We got our hands off the wheel. We almost take profit. And we just got it. So we're not going to feel like we missed out by that like that huge like surge over the top here. We're going to get out of those positions, and so we're going to call this a winning day. Got a 1% on Darwinex. Made $1,000 there. And then let's go ahead and pull out the report card here. What am I doing? Here we go. And so we had $1,164 profit on the one account, almost $1,000 on the other one. And we're going to call that a successful day. Plus the the 1% on the Darwinex account. And I'm going to practice the art of walking away and not just going, well, now I can catch a short and get this all the way down. That's something I resist. But with that being said, I think I'm gonna bounce. So 21.80 profit for today, plus the other, so 31.80 profit for the most part. And with that being said, thanks for listening, liking, sharing, subscribing, all the social networking things. And till tomorrow, to the next trading day, maybe even today during the power hour. It just depends on what the market's doing. I mean, if it's just fucking around all day, then we'll see you tomorrow. But if not, it is what it is. So until then, take care.